and welcome to Cuppajen. I am your host, Janessa Galbraith. Thanks for tuning in to episode 2 of our podcast. And by our, I mean mine. I am here today to sort of just talk through some frustrating stuff, I will say. I have been in a position over the past, I want to say, week where I have felt extremely discouraged. So as some of my listeners will know, if you listened to the first episode, I talked a lot about kind of asking for what you want and for just kind of going out there and doing something to the fullest so that you can actually just experience somebody telling you no or giving you a yes, and then you actually are able to see movement and progression in your career or in life. I think a lot of times we don't even ask the right questions, and so what will end up happening is we'll kind of quit on ourselves or another person before we've even given them an opportunity to respond to us. So that was my thing. By the way, for those who are watching on YouTube, I am drinking a caramel macchiato. My hope was to be a little bit more creative with my cups, which I have tons of them, but right now, this is my mood. I'm in a t-shirt, little hoodie situation, and I got a caramel macchiato because I'm just frustrated. It's been a frustrating morning. So that's where we're at. Basically, this week, I don't know if there's really a topic so much as I just wanted to kind of talk through sort of some of my journey over the past week. So what happened is I submitted for 12 agencies last Thursday. So it was 4th of July. And I did it in such a way that was, I had prepped everything for probably 3 weeks. So I had written all these amazing cover letters, individualized cover letters too, and I had worked my demo reel, making sure it was just perfectly with the footage that I had, that it represented that well. I made sure my headshots were good. I made sure that, the whole thing kind of looked professional. And as some of you know, I also got some words of affirmation from a coach in Vancouver who's really respected. Simply because I asked and he responded, and very much the next day gave me an amazing kind of letter of recommendation, which I was so grateful for. So I felt really confident about submitting because I thought, I've done the work. It's all sort of put together. It's in this package. I can do this. And I've been waiting for this moment. I didn't realize on Thursday, but I realized now. I've been pretty much waiting for this moment all year, because and probably longer than that, because this year I'd sort of taken time, quote unquote, off of acting, off of auditioning really, because I couldn't have an agent because I was traveling and doing various other things, but mostly traveling. So I finally got to this place. I was like, yes, I can submit. And I got 2 amazing actresses in Vancouver to look through it and look through my package and just kind of make sure that it was all ready to go. And they both kind of responded yes, we love your package. It looks great. They sort of tweaked my cover letters. Apparently people don't read cover letters anymore, which is fair. I do. If somebody were to be submitting to me, because my thought process is, if there were so many people submitting me submission packages, and every single day I got the same, hi, I'm so-and-so, please think of me for your roster, these are the projects I've been in, bye, I would be so bored personally. But at the same time, I guess they're really, really busy. So we did do some tweaking of my cover letter, and it wasn't so individualized. It was just more sort of the basics and a lot less personality, which is okay, because that's all they have time for. Basically, it was described to me by someone that the cover letter, they'll just basically go and look at that after the fact. Like they'll kind of see your headshots, see your demo, and then after like kind of scan for information that might be pertinent to them signing you or not. But they don't look at that first, which is what you would assume they would do. Anyway, so it was 10 a.m. and I was really excited. I literally, you guys, I pray, as people probably know. I'm a Christian and I love Jesus. Like, I'm sold out on that. And it's a good time right now. Anyway, and I normally just pray, like I just would be sitting here, don't even close my eyes always. I just, I'm just always talking to God, always praying. But this time I was like, you know what? I just really need to humble myself. This is so fun. So I got on my knees and I was like, I prayed. I was like, God, like, your will, not my will. Big mistake, by the way. If any of you guys ever pray that prayer, it's opened up, It's like if you pray for patience, boy, will you get to learn the skill of patience, you know what I'm saying? But I did. I sat down, I was on my knees by my bed, and I just said, like, Lord, your will, not mine. I just want to do this because it's a gift of mine. It's a talent I have. I love it. I want to just kind of use it to the best of my abilities because I feel like it's something you've given me and I just want the opportunity. But I know your timing is everything and you know what to do. Anyway, so I sat down and I just did that prayer, and then I just got up, and it was at 10 exactly. My boyfriend James and I, we sent them because I was down actually at his house for 4th of July. Shout out to all my American friends. So sent them off. Boom, boom, boom. Email after email after email, 10 a.m. And then I just let them go, and I was like so excited because I was like, I finally, after so long of kind of waiting, because I can't apply for agents, I can't, I finally just did, and I let it go, and I was so excited. I was like, yes, I've let them go, and maybe this is my chance now to, start. I for sure didn't think that I would be getting responses from everyone, because, there were some people on there, or some agencies, I should say, that were, I would say, higher end agencies, and they take people who need to kind of bump up a level, so they've kind of worked their way from the ground up, but now they're actually kind of a name in the Vancouver industry, and they need a different agent to kind of bump them up a level. And so I didn't really expect, as a kind of more green, as it were, film actress, to be put in a position of like one of those agencies. But because I'm a dreamer, I still submitted anyway. And because I had kind of connections in some of them, so I thought, hey, maybe we'll see. I don't know. So I submitted. And then, I just kind of waited and waited and waited. And I didn't hear anything back that day, which was fairly normal. The first day you submit, especially given that it was a Thursday, there's going to be a lot of stuff they're kind of sorting through as agents. I'm not going to be first priority, which is fine. Then Friday came, and I didn't hear anything for most of the day again. Just like, okay, it's fine. We're going to go into the weekend. They won't check on the weekend. And then I did actually hear from one of the agencies, which I will refrain from using their name, but they basically said, like, hey, like, we circulated your submission. Unfortunately, we're unable to offer you anything at this time. It's like, okay, well, hey, first rejection, it's okay. Monday comes, and from one of the agents that I really was hoping to sign with, just because I've heard such amazing things about them, and I really respect them, and how they kind of operate as an agency, and had heard from other people how they operate. And they sent me an email basically being like, Janessa, like, we loved your submission package. Unfortunately, we are all full, I can't even remember, full of your type, basically, is what they, actually now, I gotta remember what it said. Yeah, basically the impression I understood from reading it was that they had enough tall, blonde, white girls on their roster and they couldn't actually add more, which is somewhat understandable, but also like I was both really discouraged to see that, but also like it made me feel like, okay, at least it's not my talent, you know what I mean? Like at least it's not, oh, like we saw something that was like a huge red flag or anything like that. Um, because they did say that they liked things, they just didn't have basically room for me. Which, by the way, some of the agencies are what they call a boutique agency, so they only will take 60 to 80 clients, maybe. I don't know. Or maybe, I could be wrong. It could even be less, like 50 or 40 compared to the usual amount. I don't know why I keep doing this. I just feel like something is happening with my mouth right now. Anyway, yeah, so I have now, it's now Wednesday, so it's been 2 more days of basically hearing nothing from agents. And I would say it was around actually as early as Friday, so I hadn't even heard back from the second agent, but that I started to kind of just feel an instinct in me that was saying, I don't know that I'm going to hear back from any of them. And if that's the case, what will I do? Simply because I've put so much of my energy and time into doing this. And over the past 3 weeks, that's like been my full focus, is like, how do I get my stuff out there? So I just started to feel a bit like a lot of emotions, I guess, back then. And now on Wednesday, and particularly last night, felt even more. And this morning, part of it is I think there's a bit of a shock, because I'll just explain my mind and where my mind has been at, and just see if any of you guys can relate, even if it's outside of the acting world, just in the kind of, you think God is, or if you don't believe in God, you just think you're supposed to do this thing, you're being led in a direction. I still think that's God, but anyway, you're led in this direction and you just slam on, like you're just knocking, you know? It's like, for me, I feel the best metaphor that I can give to myself right now is I feel like there's a hallway of doors, and people have said, you know, just knock on doors and eventually like keep knocking and something will open. So I've knocked on the first one. And it's not like every door, by the way, is agencies or even acting, by the way. There's like doors in all sorts of areas of my life. And I've knocked and I've knocked and I've knocked and I've knocked. And I know it's not true, but this is how it feels. I feel like I have gotten to the end of the hallway and I've knocked on every freaking door and they're not opening. So I'm sort of just stuck in this hallway. And like at the end of the hallway, I'm a metaphor person, by the way, you'll learn this. There's a white brick kind of wall. And now I'm just, boom, hitting my face against this white brick wall. And it's really not because of the agency. It's because of all of the things that I've done this year. It's been a year of knowing that I can't kind of have an agent, and so trying to do other things besides acting, do other jobs, you know, do other things in the arts. I mean, as I said before, I'm directing right now. I've produced. I'm a writer. I'm, you know, a singer. I'm a musician. I'm starting different things, and I know, as I said, that it's not exactly true that there's no more doors, but it's just hard for me right now because I feel like I'm not seeing them, you know, and maybe I'm stuck in a corner and like somebody just needs to rotate me out so I can see the other side, which has a whole new panel of doors maybe. But the shock is just frustrating, not because I didn't have any responses from agents so much as like just feeling so sure that this was my next step from God, and then knocking and then it's not my next step. Now, Something that has been over the past, I'll say 2 years, percolating at the back of my mind is this idea of there's a construct in the film world, and it's not so much that way in theater, although there are other things in theater, but there's this construct that you cannot achieve getting onto film, getting into movies without an agent. That is the must. I had a sit down with my mentor, like one of our first meetings, and I said to her, because even at the time I was thinking, what about, social media? What about YouTube? What about creating your own work? Because I guess the theater background in me is like, well, I can still make things. And I sat down, I asked her, is there another way to get into the audition room without having an agent? And she said, no, there's no way. You have to have an agent. That's it. And I think it's because of my personality that I heard that. And I was like, oh yeah, kind of in my mind, because I thought, wow, that's just never I'm a rule breaker by nature, and like that's just not, I'm a big dreamer, and I just don't believe that. I feel like why can't there be multiple ways of achieving a goal? But I kind of also heard that and was like, okay, that is what I want. But she also told me at the time that I needed to take time away from maybe pursuing an agent and discover who I was as an artist, so that when I was ready, I could bring stuff. At the time, I didn't even have demo footage, really. Not quality stuff anyway. And so I just was like, okay, well, that's my next step, and I'm very goal oriented. So if it's like, okay, this is the plan, great. So we're going to get demo footage then. So I'm going to try to do short films, try to do projects, try to do, mini series, whatever mini series is. I don't know if that's how you say it. Do a mini series, and collect material to put on my demo reel so that I can, circle that up and kind of tie it with a bow and have that package and send it to somebody else to do that work to get me in the room. And now I'm in a position where that's not gonna be the case. At least for the next several months, people have asked, like, why don't you try submitting for, like, there must be more than 12 agents. Little background knowledge. I've had 2 agencies before. I've had conversations before, and I just want to make it clear, I'm so open to having an agent. I'm so open to it. If somebody right now was like, that wasn't on my 12, came to me and was like, Janessa, we should have a conversation about signing you, I'm down to have this conversation. I'm 100% open to it. And still, probably 80% of me wants that. But there's this other side of me that's like, you know what? What is really going to happen if I audition? If I have an agent and then I audition for work in Vancouver right now, there's a lot of stuff I don't know if I want to be in it, personally. I mean, there's some stuff that it would be amazing to get to be a part of, but the likelihood, and I'm a dreamer, so I'm not saying it's impossible. I believe for sure that I could be on these different shows that I like that are filming in Vancouver. Absolutely. But the thing is, I don't know. There's just a lot of stuff out there that's kind of like, doesn't really inspire me as an artist. And I've heard even of actresses and actors in Vancouver who are regularly working, meaning they have an agent, they've seen casting, they've been booked, they have their situation kind of happening. Sometimes people don't even have to audition anymore because they're just sort of so well known. And yeah, that's the kind of best case scenario for somebody in Vancouver. And sometimes they're not even satisfied with the artistic side of their work. And I was just kind of thinking, it's like, why am I in this job though? To be an actor who kind of waits for somebody else to like initiate my career, or for myself to kind of be an artist and explore and go to the next level. And okay, sorry, Mom's here. Hi, Mom.
Hi, who are you talking to?
My podcast. Would you like to say hello? Pause, little break for hello from Mumsy. This is my mom to everyone. Oh, yep, sit down. You got it. Say hi. Oh, she almost fell. Hi, say hi.
Hi.
Okay.
I just got my nails done.
Cute. I like it. I like the red.
Thanks.
That's great. I'm just finishing up, but
Okay.
I will chat with you.
Out.
Mumsy out. Yeah, maybe you can be in an episode actually sometime soon. Sorry guys. Okay. So this is all very live, by the way. When you do a podcast, you just turn the camera on and then that's it. Are you really cleaning right now? Are you really getting that dish?
Yeah.
Okay. Such a mom thing to do. Okay. Anyway, so I have a choice between being an artist who's going to create my own work and just not be stopped or just waiting around, you know? And so I guess I'm just sharing you my journey of emotions, of feeling absolutely destroyed and frustrated and like, why for me it's very fascinating. It's always been this way. My first time that an agency kind of approached me about being in film was when I was in grade 6. So I have had these meetings and conversations with agents for years now, and it's always seemed to be this big hurdle in the way that it's not for other people, in the way that somebody randomly just like I know someone who was on a train and somebody saw them and was asked them if they, like just asked, will you be a part of my roster? And it's like, as somebody who has like a degree in acting, and this by the way is why it's not a comparison game and you can't go there. You can't. I do occasionally. I will not lie to you. I go to the comparison game, but it always leaves me feeling upset, frustrated, destroyed, and it's not life-giving to me to enter into that mentally, which I want to have actually a podcast talk just about comparison, but right now, like, I can't go there. But it is frustrating sometimes, and it's human to be like, how is this happening? Like, where I literally put my whole life into this thing and someone else can just be casually on a train doing their real life situation and then get asked, will you come and be a part of my roster? So it's funny, but that just shows me how like out of control it is in my, like, it's out of my hands, and it's really actually how God pieces things together, and what's yours is yours and will come to you. Currently, an agent is not what's mine. It is not what's for me. That has been made evidently clear. And I think that in the future it could be, but right now, I've just kind of gone to the step of, okay, you know what? I'm learning, I am growing. I have felt heartache, like it's just undescribable how much I want to be an actor. It's actually like, it's unbelievable. It's like, I wish so desperately sometimes that I'd been more, like, been given the gift, as it were, in something else. My dad is a physics teacher, loves it, you know? Why did God not give me math? I don't know. I don't know why I wasn't passed down those genes, but the reality is I was given art, and that's my thing. That's what I feel like days I have joy in, and the next day it's tons of sorrow, and that's the kind of path I was put on intentionally. But I was just reminded yesterday by a friend, shout out to Mark, that it's not like God doesn't care, and when things feel like they're closing down on you, he's not sitting up there like on some throne like, hey, look at what I did to you. Like, that's I actually love that image, because sometimes even myself, someone who I feel like I have a very close relationship with the Lord, And I know from scripture, I know from prayer, I know from experience that that's not who he is, but I still sometimes mentally think like that. I still sometimes go, oh, God must be just up there going, heh heh, like, sucker, like, you know what I mean? Like, because it's like, it just feels, things feel like, quote unquote, unfair. What is unfair? Who am I to know what unfair really is? So it's human, it's understandable, but I'm just working through that and just kind of being encouraged by the fact that God actually does give us gifts, and this is my gift, and I am working on it, okay? And so the next step for me is just going to be continuing to be an artist. I can't get in the audition room. I got to write my own stuff. I gotta produce my own stuff. I gotta direct my own stuff. Here's the thing that's kind of just occurred to me over the past couple days. I have been training for this since September, and truly since I was 18, because of the all the acting training, all of the experiences through school and then outside of school that I've like received and understood. But more like sort of in a very real way over the past couple of months here, it's been extreme, and just dedicated to doing that. So I guess today's podcast, I just want to encourage you by sharing sort of my story and recognizing that that sometimes a closed door is painful. Like, it's painful, but there has to be something else. So don't give up, because like I said, sometimes I feel like I'm at this white wall, but then I sort of turn around and I look at this year and I go, well, I don't know. Maybe I'm the first girl to change the way that the acting industry runs. I don't know. I'm sure there's already people who've done it. A lot of YouTube stars that got their own work happening or whatever. I don't know what it looks like for me. I don't know if I ever get big. That's fine. But what's the next step? You know what I mean? So, I'm going to have some caramel macchiato. Yeah. I leave you with encouragement, grace to yourself, because if you feel like nobody frickin' understands you, I do. I do. If you feel like the amount of like what you've been reaching for, whether that's in acting or something totally different, and you just feel so certain, like this is the next thing, boom, slams in your face. And you're like, come on, like what even? Like what's even the point? I've been there. I'm there. I am there currently right now. So be encouraged. Know that it's going to be okay. I'm telling you this because that's what I need to hear. It's going to be fine. Last night spent some quiet time after like what I feel like was 5-6 days of radio silence from the Lord. Regarding this topic, I'll say, I just heard, I'm here. I'm with you. Everything will be all right. Sometimes you gotta wait at your white wall at the end of the hallway and just go, okay. And maybe it extends, or maybe you turn around and maybe other people start answering the door. I don't really know. So we'll see. I just gotta come back to that ground zero of just like, hey, why am I here? Well, to be in relationship with God. It's okay. Here I am. Okay, next, Anyway, cheers to everybody out there who's struggling. I always keep this cup around just because I think it's so important. Don't quit your daydream. If you feel like you have a dream or a passion or a gift that you're supposed to be doing, you probably are. So, do it. And if the doors get slammed in your face, wait on the Lord and keep pursuing things, keep knocking, and hopefully next week I'll have something better to say in regards to that. Some new revelation that has occurred to me. I don't know. Maybe I won't. Maybe it'll be like a month of just like, huh. We'll see. Anyway, thanks for watching, you guys, or listening on the podcast app or on YouTube or Facebook or maybe even a little bit on Instagram. Thanks for tuning in and for supporting me in my journey just by listening to me. To my 2 followers, I love you. Okay, bye.